Hello, my name is Erica Brown, and I'm here today to help parents understand the importance of educating their teens about their sexual health and allowing them to make their own informed sexual reproductive decisions. Parents and lawmakers attempt to limit teens' access to birth control and fully accountable health education. This limits a teen's ability to make safe decisions regarding their sexual and reproductive health. Students in public schools must receive a full education about sexual health and sexuality and be provided with options outside of abstinence because teens are choosing to have sex and sometimes unprotected. This is dangerous for their futures. According to the ACLU, blocking access to birth control does not stop teens from having sex. It only stops safe sex practices, which will result in teen pregnancy and STIs, or sexually transmitted infections. Every state should allow teens to take charge of their own sexual health, and every parent should encourage them to do so. A teen taking charge of their sexual health does not mean they are going to become sexually active anytime soon. Only that they have the power to make the decision and understand the responsibility and consequences when that time comes. Sexual education needs to be standardized in public schools by the federal government to guard the safety of teens who cannot secure this education in their home. A complete sexual reproductive education needs to include an understanding of sex and how to protect oneself when they decide to have it. Teens need to understand the power of consent and honesty within such relationships. The only way to achieve this is for teens to be in charge of their sexual health and accountable for it. Teens should have access to local health centers that provide birth control and additional educational resources. These should be available with or without parental consent or acknowledgement. Teens are having sex with or without proper education and or parental consent. Many are getting pregnant and catching STIs because they fail to understand that sexual health is essential. Having children at too young an age can be dangerous, and many teens are unprepared for the lifelong commitment that comes along with teen pregnancy or to be linked to the other parent throughout the child's youth. Parents who make the decision to block their teens' access to birth control should be prepared to encounter the consequences of those actions. According to Lisa Sugar, the author of Teen Pregnancy and High School Dropout, What Communities Can Do to Address These Issues, about a third of girls who drop out of school do so because they have become teen mothers. In addition to that, only about 40% of teen moms complete high school. Without even a high school degree, the earning potential of that teen is limited and may even compromise the future of their child. While abstinence is the best way to avoid unplanned pregnancy and sexually transmitted infection, this is not always the option teens go with due to personal, societal, physical, or even mental reasons. Teens are young and not fully developed mentally, though their bodies have reached puberty. It is understandable to be hesitant to give them unilateral power to make such consequential decisions, but it is feasibly impossible to limit the sexual activity of teenagers without taking extraordinary measures. Educating them is a much safer option. While some parents may reasonably look at the fact that teens may become sexually active, even more deny the possibility. This is dangerous for our youth. It forces teens to keep secrets and handle their personal lives covertly. Parents cannot help their children if they don't know what to help them with. And if they alienate their teens, the teen will decide to hide their lives, which will increase the potential for pregnancy and STIs. The best way to achieve abstinence may be to instruct the teens in taking charge of their sexual health and the related components. Parents should advocate for their teens rather than risk their health trying to shield them from the realities of the human experience. Informed teens are safe teens. Parents should not force their values or beliefs surrounding sexual health or any other matter onto their children. These decisions have to be made by responsible, informed parties, and the responsibility of the parent is to forge their child into just such a person. Some parents may be incapable of allowing their teens such freedom and equality. This should not be an option, and the federal government must safeguard the rights of teens to make their own reproductive decisions, because by the time a teen turns 18, it may be too late to undo the damage done by enforcing the ideals of others onto teenagers. We must educate our young people and build safer adults to take charge of their own personal decisions. Schools educate students about sexually transmitted diseases, the disasters of teen pregnancy, and the dangers of serious relationships at such young ages. But many fail to encourage teens to use birth control and educate themselves about their options regarding sex and sexual health. It is unrealistic at best and dangerous at worst to think that every teen will choose to be 100% abstinent, so they should be the sole decision maker in regards to birth control and when to have sex. Parents, schools, and the federal government should not have the option to give or withhold consent for a teen to have sex or access birth control. The federal government needs to regulate sexual education and require schools to teach certain content. Teaching abstinence is important, but so is educating students on how to acquire birth control and condoms locally and without cost. Religion, personal beliefs of parents and teachers should be left out of the equation when it comes to this topic, because it is more important for students to be safe than compliant with the beliefs of others. Responsible parents should educate their children in their home about medical options and have open conversations with them about their sexual health. Every person over the age of 13 should have the power to choose if they should or should not take birth control and or have sex. Educating teens about their options empowers them to make better, safer choices. It is an essential legal component for the health of every teen. When to have sex is an intensely personal choice. No parent should have the power to blindly eliminate the option to do so. Parents must be a source of support and education. They need to free their children to make better, more responsible decisions.